Yeah, but good morning, everybody, and welcome to our ever popular series on the how-to, and this one's the how-to report on Xero using Matillion into Power BI. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name's Steve Skinner. I'm on the commercial side of the business at My Data Force, and my role is the very first touch with the customer through to project completion and customer success at the end. And I'm going to introduce the agenda to the company. So I'm going to do the company overview, show you how we fit into the data analytics landscape. That's going to be followed by a few slides on Xero and Matillion and how that plugs together. And then we've got the exciting demo coming up, which shows you live how we're going to load data from Xero, put that into Snowflake, transform it using Matillion, and then visualize it in Power BI. And hopefully towards the end, we get some time for some questions and answers from the team. So the company overview, if we look at the company overview, so we're a data analytics consultancy and our focus is data intelligence. And the reason we say data intelligence is because it not only covers traditional BI reporting and dashboarding, but also goes through to the more transformative sides of the business, such as AI, machine learning, chatbots, and cognitive technology. So it's that full landscape that we do. And for every organization, whether you do it formally or not, there'll be a data strategy, and that's linking the visions and mission statements to the data strategy and digital strategy you've got. And from the data strategy, we can start defining what the data platform is. So what is the architecture and the tools and technology that's going to support that strategy? And supporting that platform is the data governance, because you need the roles and responsibilities to be able to support the platform, but also understanding the processes. So where did the data come from? What's the lineage? And where's it going to? For the market that we're in, we sell principally into UK market, Belgium, and English-speaking Nordics. The consultants that we've got, so we've got 32, they're mostly consultants in the business. They're either based in the UK or in nearshore in Europe. So we've got that flexibility as well. We've got key industries that we look after, things like insurance and small to medium-sized business. Our services and offerings, as you can imagine, we can start with the data strategy, which is how to define and plan that business. So from the very beginnings, we can start understanding how to match your mission and vision to the strategy that you want to go for. But as we move around that circle, we find that a lot of the businesses that we work with are still looking at business intelligence and analytics, automating manual processes, which might be in Excel. And also companies have built up in the environment. Many have on-premise solutions or siloed data. So a lot of our work is to do with analysing and optimising that, i.e. taking that to the cloud, modernising it and putting it in the cloud. And as we put it into the cloud, we also provide services around hosting and managed services to support those applications for you in the cloud. So if we go to the next slide, we can see that we've got many different customers. We work with public sector, such as Department of Work and Pensions, but also the private sector, so AXA Insurance. We also work with large-scale companies like the AA, and IMEC, and also smaller companies such as in marketing with Golden Charter. So we've got that wide range of experience there. We also work closely with our regional partners in Europe, which is LACO, and support them in a whole range of consultancy and other projects. And to underpin the data analytics side of the business that we've got, for some of our advanced analytics work and AI machine learning, we use SAS. Underpinning the cloud environment would be Microsoft and AWS, and of course Matillion to do that ETL side of the business. So that's our partners and customers, and what I'd like to do now is pass on to Arena, who'll now walk through the slides for the Xero and Matillion ETL overview. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. So hello everyone, my name is Irina and I'm a junior data consultant at NLE2. And today we're going with Marina to present how we are going to extract data from Xero using Matillion, then upload that in Snowflake and then present some visuals in Power BI. So a little bit about Xero and what it is. So it offers an innovative online accounting system that allows you to access your business finance. Also, by using Xero, you can stay on the top of your business cash flow and see all bills that are due to date. You can also get an overview of unpaid bills, expenses, purchase orders. You can see the bills that are in draft, waiting for processing, for approval, or even ready to be paid. So you can schedule payments in advance using Xero, so you're ready to go for it, and allows users to filter their transactions. So for Matillion part, this is a modern browser-based user interface with ETL and ELT functionality built especially for cloud database platforms. So it integrates with such platforms at Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery, Snowflake, Microsoft Azure Synapse, and many more. So Matillion ETL has an extensive pre-built connectors. Also, it enables to build sophisticated data pipelines with no code graphical user interface and load this data into the cloud data platforms. It rapidly transforms raw data for data scientists and for data analysts. And also it allows to automate the ETL processes and free up subspaces and saves valuable resources. And last but not least, it ensures easy and quick access to the data from users. So now I'll give the floor to Marina, to my colleague, who will show you more details about the Xero, then Matillion and Snowflake.
Thank you, Irina. Good morning, everybody. Could you please, Irina, confirm if you see my screen?
Yeah, everything is good.
As Irina mentioned, I will show you how to connect to Xero and how to download data from Xero into our Snowflake database. First of all, I need to mention that for sending data securely between web server and the browser, we need to switch to HTTPS protocol. And now we create a project. Please go to Project, Switch, Project, Create a project, and fill out the details about our project. We'll call it demo. And then on the project name, we can implement samples in our project. Cloud connection. Environment, we configure our environment. Now, I'll configure Snowflake connection. And now, choose the database where our information will be stored. Data warehouse. And schema. Test our connection. This is successful. First of all, we need to download data from Xero. We are going to download invoices table and payments table. For that purpose, we create orchestration job. Right click on default and we call this orchestration job as Xero. Okay. Now go to component tab and find Xero query component. Drag and drop it and fill out the properties. So this is we'll call Xero invoices. Authentication. Here we need to configure our connection to Xero. For that purpose, you will need client ID and client secret. Please navigate to Xero developer site and create an application there. And you will get this client ID and client secret after that. And callback URL will be used for redirect URL. We have already configured it, and just skip the steps and go further. Choose Xero authentication, then data source. Here we choose this table, and we don't need actually all these fields, just only several of them. I will take IBIS ID, then contact name, date, due date, total tax, total, invoice number, payment ID, status, fully paid on date, and family type. That's it. And target table. We are going to store our data in the table. We'll call it Xero invoices. We see the body of our component is green. This means that all is correct. Now we will repeat the same steps for payments table. Just go to components, find start. Start component, drag and drop it, and Xero query component. And the same for payments. Okay, authentication, which is Xero, we have already configured. Data source will be payments table. And here we choose all the data, all the fields. Target table will be, we'll call it Xero. Okay. Download this data into our Snowflake data warehouse. We just right click, run job. And here in task tab, you see the process is running. It takes several seconds, and we now see that it's successful. Suppose we would like to add some fields into our table. We would like to join invoice and payments table, and we are going to add overdue field into our result table. So for that purpose, we need to create a transformation job. We will call it adding overdue field. Okay. And now, first of all, we add our data, our tables into this field. So find table input query component, configure this, and type table we've got our data into Xero invoices table. Just use it. And columns, we choose all the fields that we have already added into our table. That's it. And for example, there are some invoices that were deleted, so we would like to remove them from our tables. And for that purpose, we find filter component. We add it into our canvas and configure this component. So we filter our invoices using status field not equal to deleted. Okay, perfect. And now we repeat the same for payments. So find table input component. We call it payments. And target table, we started into Xero payment table. And column name, which is all the fields from our table. That's it. And also we add filter component to filter payments that were deleted. We don't need them. So we also have the same status field in this table not equal to deleted. Okay. Now we join these two tables using one component. Just connect these tables into one component and fill out the properties for this component. Main table will be filter 0 with invoices. Alias will be I. And joins with filter 1. It will be payments, so alias P. And we are going to use that join expression. We use invoice ID for connecting these two tables. This one, okay, and columns. Here we can find that some columns could be, we add all the columns, but we need to remove some of them. For example, invoice ID, they are duplicated in our table. Then one more, invoice number, also the same table. We don't need it, just check it and click minus. Then there is also type, also minus. And we need to correct some of the names for our fields because, for example, date from invoice, this is invoice date when the invoice was created. We change the name of this field, invoice date. Then status invoice, this is the status for our invoice. Because the same field will be for payment table. Here, the date, payment date. And here, payment status. So we don't need this P here. Okay. And now we need to create our field. So go to component and find calculator component. We call our new field as overdue. Here we just add the formula for creating this field. It will be case when invoice status equal to authorized yes. Here we find the formula div date div. This one. This formula is used to take the difference between two dates. We are going to consider the number of dates between two date types. Here will be our new date. Consider the date node, no timestamp format. Finally, current date. Considering it without time. And if the difference between current date and due date is more than 0, then true, we have overdue. False. False. And okay. And now we need to create one more table to store all our data with new field. We'll find rewrite table, configure this component. Target table will be called Xero invoices with overdue. And now we can run this. Right click, run job. And to the right, we see that this run has been successful. Now all the data is in our Snowflake data warehouse, and Arina will show you how to connect to Snowflake and how to do some visualizations using this data. So Arina.
Thanks, Marina. Can you see the screen, yeah?
Yes.
Great. So now we need to get the data. So here we are in Power BI desktop and we need to get data from Snowflake. There are a lot of connectors in, 1 second, okay. So we need to find out the Snowflake here. We have already identified the credentials for Snowflake. Then we need to go to the Snowflake itself and copy paste the server name. And we need to identify the data warehouse, the warehouse itself. Then we need to identify the tables that we're going to process during the demo webinar. So here we need to choose the Xero payments and Xero invoices. We don't need to transform that, we just click load, but we have done some prep work, so we don't need to wait for the loading. So as you can see, everything works fine. And here we are, we're going to present some visuals, the key visuals here. So the first visual is going to be the stacked column chart. And for that purpose, I'm going to use the Xero invoices. And as an x-axis, I'm going to use the due date. Then I'm going to use as y-axis the total. And the legend is going to be the status. So then I'm going to drill down a little bit to see the total by months. And here we need to also make some filtering because we would like to know more about the type of accounts. So we need to choose the type and filter on this page, for example, for accounts payable. And also for the status, we need to choose the paid and authorized, yeah, as it has been here. Then I'm going to filter that by the date. So by the date, I need to use the slicer. So here we are, we need to drag this here. And now we can filter as well the visual due to the date that we're mostly interested in. Next visual is going to be the table. So here we're going to present the contact name, the also the invoice number. And here we're specifically interested into the due date when the payment should be done. And make sure that there are no hierarchy here, so we will delete that. Also, we are interested about the payment date. So here, we from the Xero payments table, we need to choose the date and as well delete the hierarchy. And the last but not the least visual is going to be the tree map about the overdue group, as well as the counterparties that are interconnected to this. So the category, we're going to choose the contact name, also overdue group, and by the values, the total. So here we can see the counterparties that are interconnected to the overdue group, but this is not the final result. Due to some modification as well as the visuals, based on the two tables from the Xero, we can do this to reports. So this particular about the invoice receivable, you can see the due date filter. We can use the drop list about the quantities. We can also use some insights about how many unpaid invoices are there, amount by months and status. We can see the invoice by payment date and unpaid by overdue group. For example, how many percent the overdue group from 1 day to 10 is in the company. And also the same report can be built for invoice payable, just filtering and using the type criteria. So this is not the last step, because we're going to publish the report to Microsoft Power BI server in order to make it accessible to all the departments. We have already made the workspace, which is called the Xero. So we select that. It takes just a few seconds to be published. And in order to make sure that everything is uploaded, we just need to go to our Power BI server. And yes, we can see that it has already been there. And let's see if it works. Yes, you see that all the filtering is also working smoothly. And those two reports are there. And it can be then accessible from different devices. That's probably it for our demo part of the webinar. I hope it was insightful for you. So if you have questions, please do not hesitate. If you have some other questions, please do not hesitate us to contact via our email.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for the presentation and demo to Irina and Marina, and great to meet everyone. And let's hook up at the next webinar. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.